Good morning, students. Today we are going to begin our first chapter, computer hardware and its components. In this chapter, we learn different type of hardwares, internal hardwares and external hardwares. So first, we will see what is computer system. Computer system has two main components, which, or we can say, it is a combination of hardware and software, or we can say it is made up of two components, hardware and software. As we already know what is hardware, all the physical components of a computer systems are called hardware, and the set of programs is known as the software. And what is computer system? Computer system is the combination of both hardware as well as the software. But in this chapter, we have a focus on the hardware only. In this chapter, we learn about the two classification of hardware are internal hardware components and external hardware components. What is the difference between the hardware and software? Hardware is the physical components that make up the computer system. Hardware is useless without software to run it. And what is software? Software is instructions that tell computer hardware what to do. Software is useless unless there is no hardware to run it on. For a computer system, it is useful to consist both hardware as well as the software. Hardware is the actual component that the computer is made up of: RAM, ROM, motherboard, modem, wireless chips, etc. Software is any program that you load onto a computer, the operating systems, games, application, and so on. Now, it is classified in two parts: internal hardware and external. Internal means which is inside the computer, and external means outside the computer. For internal examples like sound card, memory card, DVD, fax, modem, CD-ROM, DVD, floppy, CPU fan, graphic card, USB ports, sound card, video card, network interface card, ports, serial ports, and so many things have inside the machine, or we can say in the cabinet. And for external, the LCD, printer, keyboard, joysticks, OMR machine, the different type of wireless keyboard, mouse, virtual keyboard, 3G camera, portable printers, finger mouse, etc. Now, let's begin with what is internal hardware. Internal means the hardware that is inside the computer. For example, I have already told you CPU, RAM, ROM, graphic card, motherboard, sound card, network interface card, internal fan, video card, etc. As you also can see in this picture, in motherboard, these all are the things, the different type of chips, chipset is there, the CPU, fan is there. So many things are assembled inside the motherboard. Internal hardware consists motherboard. What is motherboard? It contains all of the connection that allows the carries other subsystems to interact. CPU, the component that performs all calculations and mathematical manipulations in a computer. ROM, the memory that computers use to store data and instructions needed by the CPU for computer operation. Disk drive, it allows a computer to play CD or DVD. Batteries. The battery allows your computer to function. Without a battery, you would not be able to turn on. Processor. The brain of the computer system. Cables. The cable connects every electronic device together to connect the circuit and allow everything to work. Fan. The fan is a device that helps your computer cool down a lot easier by blowing around the air in your laptop, in your desktop. Heatsink. It is necessary to have a CPU cooler. Without it, your CPU will quickly burn itself out. Modem. It connects hardware and signals. Video card. It deals with the PC gaming and high definition video and multiple displays. Hard drive. The primary method of storage in all desktop computer systems. The USB port. The USB port allows you to plug in another device that has a USB out and connect it to your computer. Ethernet port, a system connecting a number of computer systems to form a local area network. A serial port, a connector by which a device that sends data one bit at a time may be connected to a computer. Random access memory, the most common computer memory is RAM. Let's see